Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in today's video I'll be doing my review of WrestleMania 41 Night 1. And it's still going. So first off, we had Jey Uso defeat Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. And firstly, I thought the match was fine. I didn't think it was really anything special. Going into the event, I expected that if anyone could get a good match out of Jey Uso, it was going to be Gunther. But that simply just wasn't the case. I liked the story that they told throughout the match of Jey using Gunther's own moves, or his regular moves, to defeat him. I thought that was a really good story to go for. You're essentially beating someone at their own game, which worked well for Jey Uso, but I thought the Gunther tapping out was a bad decision. I didn't really like that a lot. I thought it made Gunther look weak, in my opinion. But also, Jey should have really won this with a super kick or multiple kicks and then a splash. And the whole 1, 2, 3 and the crowd goes into uproar, I think would have worked a lot better for this moment, just because it took the fans maybe a minute or so just to figure out that Jey Uso had tapped out Gunther and that he had won the match. I know there's like the ringing of the bell and the music starts, which obviously makes it very clear, but yeah, there was just that bit of like stagnation where it was like no crowd reaction, and then we suddenly got into it. But the moment itself felt really special just from the entrance alone. You know, it felt like something big was about to happen, and of course it did. It really cemented to me that Jey Uso was 100% going to win this match. And yeah, no, as I said, it's apart from like the little things like the fans not reacting straight away and Gunther tapping out, it was a fine match, as I said, for what it was. It served a purpose, which was to get Jey Uso over, which worked really well. But yeah, no, for me it just wasn't a great match. But again, happy for Jey that he actually got the win in this one. But it was pretty much the case that the fans like went absolutely mental for Jey Uso. Maybe went a little bit too mental, because the few matches afterwards, that you could tell they were burned out already, which was a bit of a shame. But I totally get it with the moment of Jey Uso winning. So following that, we had the New Day defeat the War Raiders to become the new World Tag Team Champions. And again, the match itself was fine. It definitely missed the trick not having Big E involved in the match somehow. I felt like that would have made for a really cool moment, even if it was kind of either way it could have gone with Big E. You could have had Big E turn heel and help the New Day. You could have had Big E accidentally help the New Day beat the War Raiders, but we didn't really get either of that. They just beat them, I want to say, fairly clean, to be fair. Like, the cheating that they did wasn't like major in my opinion. It was just a little bit of interference from Kofi, who wasn't the legal competitor, but it was kind of a classic tag team trope that kind of happens when heels are involved. So yeah, it was kind of fine. I thought the Raiders had a really good showing in the match and they looked especially great if you go from the point of view of someone who hasn't seen the War Raiders before. You know, Eric and Ivar are particularly very good athletes for the size that they are, especially Ivar. But yeah, the result made perfect sense. They didn't really... What I think like they need to do following the championship win, though, is do something to get the heat back on the New Day. I know people like hate them anyway, but like to get the proper heat they were getting just after the Big E turned back, they're going to have to do something a little bit more to get there again, to make this reign kind of work to a point where I think they want it to be. But no, for me, like, especially the ending of the match, I thought like worked really well. I think Kofi Kingston holding down Ivar's like really didn't make much of an effect on Ivar. Realistically, Ivar would have very easily got out of that pin, but it worked very well here, and it was fine for what it was. And yeah, New Day, your new tag team champions. I think they said on the post show that they're now like the most winning of championships tag team. They now had 12 reigns as champions, which is the most out of anyone, which is awesome. So I think now like the second longest reigning of one reign behind the Usos, and they're the most winning tag team. So that's really cool to see. But yeah, I really hope that they can kind of recover the heat for them to make this reign work. Following that, we had Jade Cargill defeat Naomi in one of the grudge matches of night one. And yeah, Naomi's new aesthetic, the new theme, the kind of new look as well, I think it worked really well for her. I think the only real gripe I have with the theme, like all Death Rebel themes, is if you took all the talking / lyrics out, it would actually bang really well. But yeah, just the lyrics and stuff make it really cringeworthy. The whole proceed with caution thing I find very cringy as well. But that's my personal preference. Jade herself looked like $1,000, even though her hair looked a bit shit. But I'm no guy to judge over looks. Look at me, I'm ugly. But no, the match itself was good. It served its purpose really well, which was, I assume, to make Jade look really good. And yeah, it did that completely and very, very well. Jade looked great throughout the match. Naomi did get a fair few bit of the offense in. But yeah, you just knew kind of from the get-go that it was Cargill's match to lose. And yeah, I thought that she looked really, really good here. The electric chair into the powerbomb, I think, was awesomely done by Cargill. And hopefully that's something she starts doing more often in her matches. But yeah, everything about this match worked really well. And yeah, I feel like, I say Cargill had a really good showing. I hope that she wrestles more often now on TV and does it as a singles competitor. Though then we can start building upon Jade Cargill and get to the position where she can be challenging for a championship, maybe come SummerSlam. And yeah, for Naomi, like, I feel like she's just going to end up getting lost in the shuffle again, like she does. But I don't know, she's kind of like good in that position, in my opinion. Like, I don't think she's a particularly great wrestler, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel like this gimmick for her has a lot of legs to it. She's turned heel before when she was part of Team Bad, and it worked to a point, but then there was like, you know, 8 other women involved in that whole feud, so that kind of helped it out a lot. I'm very curious to see how Naomi makes this work, though I'm not like particularly invested in it. But yeah, Jade Cargill looks like an absolute star, and yeah, as I said, hopefully they put her in the prominent position that she should be in later on this year to be winning world championships. Following that, we saw Jacob Fatu defeat LA Knight to become the new United States champion. And yeah, this was a decent match. And the match flow, was really good. It was contested really well between them both. They both had an even amount of offense in the match. And I think like it flowed probably the best as far as matches go so far on the card. I'd say this is Fatu's biggest test as a singles competitor so far. I know he had a pretty decent match with Jey Uso in the build-up to War Games. But yeah, both guys got a good load of offense in. LA Knight's BFT off the moonsault from Jacob Fatu was awesome. Like, it was a bit of BFT out of nowhere, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Jacob Fatu winning was like the correct decision. And yeah, hopefully you can bring the title back to having, I don't know how to put it, it's like having the prestige back on it again. I know a lot of people said the same about LA Knight in the United States Championship, which I feel like he did the first time round. This reign, the second one, he was particularly short compared to the first one. But I feel like if they're going to have anyone kind of bring the US title back to meaning something a lot more again, then Jacob Fatu is probably the person to do that, as I really think he's going to have a long reign with it. Very surprised to see that Solo Sikoa didn't have any kind of involvement in this match, but I'm very happy that he didn't have any involvement as well. I feel like the story between him and Solo are going to, or him and Jacob, sorry, is going to continue through SmackDown, and I can see the kind of jealous leader type of a champion is going to start taking effect, and Solo will eventually turn on Jacob, and then Jacob's just going to kill him, I assume. But yeah, say this was a decent match for the middle of the card. And yeah, it worked out really well. Very happy to see Jacob Fatu as a champion again. And I'm really hoping that this sees LA Knight go from mid-card to upper mid-card and main event again and challenging for world championships. After that, we had El Grande Americano defeat Rey Fenix. Yeah, it was announced before the match on the Countdown show that Rey Mysterio was injured during his match on SmackDown and that he would be replaced by Rey Fenix in this match. It was the best news of the weekend up to this point. I hate Rey Mysterio a lot, as you all know, and I was very happy to see Rey Fenix get that WrestleMania debut instead of him. And trust me, if it was up to Rey Mysterio, he would have had Rey Fenix nowhere near this card because he's a selfish bastard. But yeah, the match itself was great. Honestly, I thought it was the second best match of the night. I absolutely loved it. I had a really good time watching it. Me and my brother were making a lot of jokes through it about El Grande Americano being Chad Gable or other people that El Grande could be, because we don't really know who he is. But yeah, they both put on a fantastic show. Rey Fenix's moveset is second to none, and through watching his stuff in AEW and a few matches he's had in WWE, in my opinion, Rey Fenix out of the Lucha Bros is better of the two. I think Penta is fantastic, but Rey Fenix is just that next level of just a brilliant wrestler. And yeah, I can't wait to see what he goes on to do in the future. And yeah, Americano even had a really good showing in this one. The moonsault 450 senton was awesome and was hit beautifully. And yeah, I just never expected to see El Grande do that. You're telling me Chad Gable can do that? I don't think so. But yeah, no, really love this match, and like very unexpectedly love this match as well. Was very surprised to see El Grande get the win, but I think with the last minute of replacement, it kind of made a lot of sense. But it does mean that Rey Fenix has taken his first pin in WWE, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, it was just a really fantastic match. Also, El Grande Americano is not Chad Gable. Following that, we had Tiffany Stratton defeat Charlotte Flair to retain the WWE Women's Championship. Did I mark out / pop for this? I absolutely did. I absolutely loved this. This was a huge victory for Tiffany Stratton over Charlotte Flair, and a deserving one as well. Because, my God, she did not half take a beating in this match. I mean, look at the picture of before and after that I'm about to put on the screen. It is awful. She got put through the ringer. And did it kind of look like Charlotte Flair took a couple of shoot shots at Stratton? I would say so, but that's just speculation. I'm not saying that she definitely did take shots at Tiffany Stratton, but you know, just look at the before and after. It looks like Tiffany Stratton's been in a genuine fight. And yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Charlotte did take some legit shots at Stratton, knowing she's going to lose because she's a sore loser. But yeah, no, overall, the match itself was all right. It wasn't really particularly anything special, in my opinion. It could have been a lot better. It wasn't terrible either. It reminded me a lot of Rhea and Charlotte from 2 years ago. It was like a match that could have been better. Wasn't. It was fine for what it was. But I expected a lot more out of Flair and Stratton here, and it just simply wasn't the case. I know a lot of people love that Charlotte and Rhea match. I think it's like one of the best women's matches of all time. It really wasn't. I really didn't like that match a lot. I expected, again, the same here. More out of them both, and they just... It's not that they didn't deliver. It was just a case of it was okay, and you just don't expect an okay match out of Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. But that is what we got. But yes, I'm glad to see Charlotte Flair actually put someone who is younger over for once. And yeah, very happy for Tiffany Stratton getting the win here. Absolutely fully deserved. And yeah, hopefully she can use this to build an even bigger title reign than she's had so far, because it has been fantastic. And finally, in the main event, we had Seth Rollins defeat Roman Reigns and CM Punk with Paul Heyman by his side. There's a lot to unpack here, obviously. First of all, 100% the match of the night. It was so bloody great. Absolute cinema from the beginning. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. I was fully invested in that one from the beginning to the end, and even more after the end. But yeah, there was never any doubt that this was going to be a great match. It was nothing but pure talent in the ring. And as expected, in my opinion, Seth kind of did carry this match. He was involved a lot with them both. Some really good spots in the match, having Roman look as if he's going to do the Shield powerbomb and then end up powerbombing both Rollins and Punk through the 2 announce tables at ringside. I thought it was really good. Roman Reigns took an absolute beating in this match. He took every finisher he could have possibly taken. And yeah, just kept getting up. The kick out after... I think it was the spear into the pedigree and then the stomp. I thought that was it. And yeah, it wasn't. Roman Reigns kicked out. And yeah, he just kept kicking out of everything. And it made him look really, really strong in defeat, which is obviously a really good thing for Roman Reigns. Punk, where he worked this really well. I thought that he was doing very strategic stuff throughout the match. I thought that he was a case of working smarter and not harder, and it worked for him throughout the match and was working really well until the final hurdle. But yeah, that leech, the scumbag, the slut of a man named Paul Heyman. Oh, Punk said in 2013 during his feud with Brock Lesnar, you know, I should have known better, but damn it, Paul, I trusted you. And man, we're going to get that probably same promo again on Raw because, you know, once again, Heyman has turned on bloody everybody he's ever loved. For me, it's the case of Rollins did it to help wrestling, to help WWE against these two. And yeah, I can totally see why Paul would side with him. Personally, going into the match, I wanted Punk to win a lot, but I could not be happier with Seth winning as well. I felt like Seth was the more deserving winner, and I was going more with my heart. We're going with Punk as a prediction over my head with Rollins. I probably should have gone with my head though. But no, yeah, I feel like this works. Really, going into the match, I didn't really care who Heyman left with. Like, I heard the things of Rollins and Heyman, and I was like, well, okay, like, that's fine for what it'll be. You know, Rollins doesn't need a manager, but if it's part of something bigger, then fair enough. Yeah, like, the Paul Heyman thing really didn't have much of an effect on the match with me going into it, but it made this so much better as far as the heel turns go. And yeah, like, obviously, the Punk one first, then the Roman one. It was just like a case of shouting at the screen, telling Roman not to leave his back to Paul, and then he did, and then he got absolutely fucked on as well. But no, this was fantastic. The whole match like had a really special feel to it. The video package with Machine Head at the start was fantastic. It was arguably, for me, one of the best promo packages we've seen before a WrestleMania match. I'd honestly put it on the same scale as, you know, Monster for Bryan and Triple H, My Way for Rock and Austin, and Running Up That Hill for Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. I thought it set up the match very, very well and made me hyped for it before it started. The match itself was incredible, and the finish was absolute cinema. Like, this couldn't have gone down a better way. And speaking of it being cinema, what makes this even better is the fact that if this was a movie, we're only in the opening sequence, and that makes me incredibly excited. So those are my thoughts and opinions on WrestleMania Night 1. Do put down in below comments your thoughts of WrestleMania and what you think is going to happen tonight, what you thought of yesterday, what you think is going to happen with Punk and Heyman, and anything else you want to talk about in the comments. Do let me know. Like, do put it down there. We'll talk about it. We'll have a good discussion about it. And yeah, do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Do stick around and subscribe and all that good stuff for more WrestleMania stuff tomorrow. Stand and Deliver on Tuesday. And then there's TNA coverage next weekend. There's AEW coverage for Double or Nothing. There's Battleground stuff. There's lots of wrestling coming up. And yeah, I'll be covering it all, hopefully. But yeah, do stick around, as I said. Do subscribe. Do like the video. All that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Night 2 review.